Okay, Grandma, so this is the first official episode of Ask Grandma.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
Okay. Ask Grandma.
So our first topic that we're going to talk about is love and happiness. When you hear that, what do you think about love and happiness?
It's something we all should enjoy. You know? Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's not quick. But eventually that's what's supposed to fill up your life. You know? I don't know of anything else that you want. But then there's a lot of things that people want. I don't have no idea what it is, you know. Different things, different strokes for different folks, you know. Love and happiness, not really thinking about it when I was young. Not really until, I guess I called myself and got grown. But I figured, you know, after school and you meet a man, and what else is there? You know, love and happiness. There's ups and downs. There's no way you can have all love and happiness. But you try to get it as much as you can. You know.
So do you think it's something that you can keep, or is something that you might lose a little, gain a little, lose all that shit?
Yeah.
Gain it back some more.
It ain't nothing that you don't have to work for. You got to work for it. You know, no matter what you got, who you got, you'll find if even when you think it's at its best, you got to work for it. You got to work on it. You know, because there's two people trying to mingle as one, and it can be a job.
A lot of people say, you know, you got to work on it. How do you define work? Because for me,
it's one thing and it's one thing for me. It depends on my relationship, you know. With my man.
Oh.
You know,
see, with me, I think it depends on my relationship with me.
Well,
you gotta start there, you know?
Yeah, you one of them oddballs, so if that's the way you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, because we do have to have ourselves. Yeah. Ourselves have to be there, and we gotta be for him what we want him to be for us. Yeah. And it just can't be. An affair is not a one-sided thing.
Oh, shit.
It can't be. That's not an affair. No. An affair is between two.
Yeah.
If you only got one, that's both of y'all could be there. But if you only got one that's there,
participating,
and one that is just, you ain't got nothing. You know, but the one that's, you know, really giving their all, they're the one putting it in, and the one that ain't is sliding with him.
Shit, they got it made.
Yeah, got it made, yeah.
I guess I said with me, you know, being in a relationship with me first, because I as I get older, I think it's important to have these brains together before I could even pour in good, bad, ugly, or indifferent into a relationship.
Else, yeah. And that's the only way you can do it, really.
And then on top of that, when the fucking relationship shit, up, down, what's to never start happening, as your grandma would say, I gotta go in that damn bathroom by myself.
Lord Jesus.
I'm in there by myself.
Ooh. My grandma, I tell you, and it shocked me when she told me.
What she said?
Because I never knew my grandfather. I only heard of him. But I was pregnant with my last child, and I was so damn mad at Gerald, I couldn't see straight. I was so mad. And I'm just a fussing because she my grandma. I'm thinking I could tell her, And I'm a fussing and I'm cussing a little bit. I'm throwing a little in,
Little shit, little ass.
Little bit, yeah. Yeah. I'm to let her understand what I'm saying.
You was serious.
I was serious. Shit. I was so serious. And I just knew she was gonna take me serious. I'm and that heifer looked at me and she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, 'cause he talks awfully well about you." Well, the temperature in my ass blew up. Lord Jesus, I was so mad, and I looked at her and I said, "Well, Grandma, I'm your granddaughter." She said, "Well, I know that." So she looked at me and she said, "Well, I really don't know what to tell you, but something that I did, and I ain't gonna tell you when." She said, "But you just gonna have to learn to get away from it. Go to the bathroom, piss, shit, wipe your face, do whatever you gotta do and wipe your ass and come on out. But while you in there, explode. Do it any way you want to, but get it out of your system. And so you won't bring all of that out with you." And I said, "Don't make sense to me, because when you get like that, you want a resolution or something to happen.
Some kind of closure."
Yeah. And so she said, "Well, Beverly Ann, you'll figure out the closure and get whatever it is that you want." So that night I said, "That dumb bitch don't know shit."
I've never said that about you.
Well, you are wiser than me.
Yes, absolutely.
And I said, "Shit, she don't know what she talking about," And so, and it wasn't that day or the next day, but it wasn't too far from it. I had to go in that bathroom. Lord Jesus. Yep. And after I wiped my face, I said, "Okay," but I said to myself, like, he gonna pay,
Yeah.
Like you can outdo a man, Yeah.
Ooh, that's another story.
Yeah,
right
that
there.
is. That is.
Shit.
That is. But I talked to God, and he promised to chop his neck off and all that
right.
damn shit.
Okay.
And none of it happened, But as the days went on, I think a lot of times at first, because he lived out of town and would come in, or I would go to where he was at, we was seldom apart, no more than like maybe 3 days might be the most. And then but I always remembered, I asked the nigga for $10 more. And he said, "I ain't got no more. I gotta live off of something." At the time, I didn't give a damn what he was doing. I needed $10 more, But a lot of them days have passed.
It's funny because when you talk about how do you keep the love and keep the happiness, I hear a lot of what you say is again having to have those what they call cathartic moments of release, and really just kind of coming down from 100 back to 0.
You gotta get it out, because if you don't get it out and try to keep it, you're an ugly mess. you know.
Trying to keep some kind of level of love
I tried to do that.
Yeah.
And
I tried to keep it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I found out, he came home and he said, "Baby, what's wrong with you?" You got the damn nerve to ask me that, you know. You know. And I'm saying, Beverly, don't say nothing. But if I had of it would have started all over again, you know. So I would try to keep it and let it go. A lot of stuff I just let go. Because if you hold on to everything that happens, you just can't do it. I didn't see how I could do it and live right. I knew if I'd subject to blow up anytime. So
really holding on to it
don't help.
You actually lose the love.
You
lose
do.
The happiness.
You do, because it's an everyday thing, you know.
Ugh.
To think that I wanted $10 and he wouldn't give me no more, you know. But then he said, "Here, this is all but 10. So I should say, "Well, thank you," you know. Because in my heart, I'm thinking. In my head, I'm thinking. So you just got to get the two of them together.
Your head and your heart?
Yeah, because your head will tell you one thing and your heart will tell you something else.
Who right?
Sometime one is and sometime the other is. Shit, you don't never know. You know, when as a woman dealing with a man, I had to chew a lot of words, and I had to chew a lot of thoughts, because you just can't say everything that come in your head, you know. And then we two different people. I might not be doing it right, you know. Yeah, and then I had a man, he was not going to argue. And he'd listen to, I'd be running off at the mouth and he'd just look and watch me.
That'll piss me off.
Yeah, see? And I'd come out with, MF, why you can't say something? He'd look at me, no. He said, if I say something, you're going to get worse. He said, so I'm going to take what you got.
Do you think that to have love, happiness in a relationship, do you think that you should have to compromise things for it?
You do, and you will. Not really knowing or realizing, but there's two of you. And if y'all in a everyday, every night situation, you know about what he would say. Like he know about what you would say, you know. But I don't know. I still say it's something that you have to work on, you know. Most people want to be happy. At least I thought. My mind told me that they did, because I did. I didn't think there should ever be a negative, but then my mind was screwing me around, because you know, life ain't like that. But you try to have as many good thoughts, good as you possibly can, because that makes a happier life, you know. I mean, but then I've known couples that call each other a bunch of names and blah blah. They seem to be, that's their happiness. Whatever you make, because there's some men that can fuss and cuss like the average woman, you know. And then some men, they want to fight.
Well, there ain't no compromise.
No, that's no compromise, and that's no winning. That there's when they get to doing the physical things, to me, that's just somebody's trying to get out. I guess because I don't understand and never did. Thank God I didn't have to live it. But how you gonna beat me? As my husband said when we went to my sister-in-law that time, asked his brother, how you gonna put your foot to her back and then want to take her upstairs and go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought about that until he said it. And then after putting what I had saw, what I heard, she says, I don't know how you could do this to me. And then to watch my husband put his brother out of his house.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, shit.
For me, I didn't. I guess it's my personality.
Mm-hmm.
At first, when he first hit me, I really couldn't believe it. I was like, this nigga just hit me.
Yeah.
But I was like, surely something's wrong with him, you know. And he cried. They do like it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the mind frame or maybe
they do everything we do, although we don't think they do.
Yeah.
You know.
And I really believe.
And it's a hard thing to watch a nigga cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm hurt, but I'm hurt because he's hurt, and I'm like, well, damn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say, why do you get what's making you or causing you to be so upset? And I think being young, a lot of times I automatically went to, well, maybe I'm doing something
Well, we
wrong.
all learning when you're young.
Yeah.
You know, like I tell people, with kids, the instructions don't come with them things.
Yeah.
You know? And with marriage, you say, I do. We got home. My husband said, okay, Miss James, now what do we do? and I looked at him and I said, well, when we wake up in the morning, maybe we can figure out what.
Well, we weren't married, but I thought that I knew him enough. Like it literally shocked me.
Yeah.
But as time went on, and I saw something different, something changed. I remember I looked into his eyes one time and I was like, who the hell is this? It was like a totally different person. And it took me a while because sometimes I just avoid an argument. But then the day I decided that enough was enough, because I always never wanted to hurt him. Mm-hmm. You know,
we never do, and we lick and swallow a whole lot of stuff behind that.
But then that mad day came, and I was throwing hands like I was a nigga in the street. Now I done turned into the damn abuser because now I'm mad, and I just knew at that time, I was like, okay, clearly this is not love.
No,
I don't have to go through.
You know, and when you get in it. When you hear about them people over there doing this and them people over, it's a learning curve for everybody. Because this is what, unless you lived in a house, you know, and my mother and father, now that I think about it, I never saw no affection. I also never saw no words, no good or bad.
No hello, honey, hello, darling.
No. But then I'd go down the street and he'd say, pow, in the middle of her back. How you today, Miss Margaret? And she'd say, why you hit me like that? Well, I'm saying, I don't want that shit either. You know, I mean, and it wouldn't be no easy. You could hear it, pow, you know. And Joyce was scared of her daddy, so scared of him. Well, I just didn't like him. When he was home, I didn't like being there. But the dad eventually killed his oldest child, Billy, because he jumped in between. And the dad said, MF, blankety, 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 blank, you don't try to jump on me. Here's what pow, shot the boy right in the middle of his head. Yeah. He's still, that was over 20 years ago. And at last I heard he was having some kind of kidney problems or something. But Joyce was saying she prays she never have to look at him again.
Which brings me to my next question. And this can be per what B say. What is love? What is it?
It's a lot of things for a lot of different people. Like I told you the other day, the girl, he beat her up that Friday night. She went to the hospital and spent Monday night, came to work Tuesday. And she was all black on that side, her eye, and I don't know how, her whole left side of her face was black. And I said, "Ooh, God did. Looked like he," and she says, "Well, Beverly, at least I know he loved me."
Oh, shit.
I'm about ready to swallow my tongue. Because I'm saying, oh, shit, no, I'm not,
I'm not going.
I said, oh, God, I can't imagine Gerald doing that to me and me thinking that was love. I mean, and I'm saying that was the first time I had ever heard that. So that blew me away because I couldn't really process it. You know, I couldn't imagine hurt being love or anybody thinking that being hurt was equated to love.
And it's so funny because when I read the Bible now, and you know they have that passage, I can't think of the verse, but it talks about love.
Yeah.
And how it starts off with love is patient.
Love is kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes on to just, I mean, like, wow, like this is really what love is.
That none of us really, truly get it all.
Yeah.
You know, there's something like
or
not bragging.
Maybe we get it all just in different places, different people.
Well, like I said, I was blessed. And
You was blessed?
I realize it now in a lot of ways.
Okay.
You know. And I thank God for it because not having to do, in my mind, I was a lucky kid, you know, because so many women said, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, my husband pays the bills. Oh, shit, my lights is out, you know, and I'm going to go somewhere, see if he'll bring me the car and all that old bull. I never had them kind of problems, you know. I think of it now, I say this, took me a long time to say it, and it's a shame that I realized it. I always started part way, but now that he's gone, I say I was a lucky bitch. Yeah, because, you know, so many, and so many people have thrown it up in my face. Well, Beverly, you didn't have to do anything, you know. You ain't had to do nothing. And I said, Well, in a way, I did. You know, there was times I didn't want to go to bed, but I did. Um, there was times I didn't want to go eat at that place, but I did. But and a lot of people would say you're crazy, but I guess I had my do's and don'ts that don't make sense to that person over there, like hers don't make sense to me. You know, but
I think now, especially with my generation, because I don't know, I hate to lump them all because I hate to do that when people speak so general.
yeah, you can't lump them all.
A lot of people in my age group and stuff, we have children with people, and we have to take accountability for our actions and roles that we play as well.
Well, everybody does.
But we have kids, and we are single parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that being the background, somebody to ease life, because it could be so very hard, period.
Yeah.
But I think for me, love,
Be my helpmate.
Just like ease it. It's very comforting to have somebody to face things with and help, or think of things so you don't have to have only brain cells working, or if somebody sees that you need some rest,
see to it that you get it.
Get some rest, or hey, this might make you smile today, or something like that. They got this thing out now where you can figure out what your love language is.
Oh.
And mine is acts of service. You could fucking go tell somebody else you love them. I don't give a damn about them words. Show me.
And
show me.
Anybody in their right sense of mind, y'all may think of it now, but that's what everybody should be wanting. And there's so many women that don't. Like I said, I told that girl, she got mad at me because I had to work over that night and wouldn't take her home. And I said, baby, the reason I won't, I can't see at night. So I know how to get me home, I said, and my husband's in the door looking. And he said he would give me so many minutes to get home, But when I got there, generally he would then went and found something for me to eat. My bath water would be run. And all I'd have to do, take a bath, eat, And I just thought, all of them women that claimed they loved, was in love with that nothing nigga, ooh, my God.
Ooh.
And like I told her, you gonna get mad at me because I won't put you in Gerald's car and take you wherever you want to go, then I can't get back to him. And really, I guess it was about, close to 10 years before I found out where the street was. I said, oh, shit. No wonder I didn't know where it was at. So I'm trying to think it's just like she had one side of town and I lived on the other side. So...
but who she was supposed to have been loving?
She was
supposed to have been that.
Well,
that's just
I told her, you wasting your time getting mad at me. I said, but what you need to do is quit buying pussy and you won't get mad at me.
You so
shit.
You so bad.
Yeah. So,
Grandma.
She looked at me like, I said, well, y'all kill me coming in here, payday, get your checks. The nigga done brought you to get your check. Now, if y'all leave and go back, sometime you come 3:30 with your hair done and your fingernails done.
Mm.
You know. But your check in your car is buying pussy over there.
Ooh.
Now, you got the nerve to get mad at me because Gerald's shit won't take you where you think it should take you. Now, do you think you should be mad at me? You know, and I saw the heifer last year. She done got this big. She come up to me, Miss James. She had to tell me who she was. I didn't even know who she was.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you know, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. I said, thank me for what? And she said, oh, I hated you back then.
Damn.
She said, but...
Tell me how you really feel.
She said, I had to figure it out. I said, we all have to figure it out, baby. Ain't nobody telling us shit.
I think loving you
is the first thing you have to do.
But like really loving you enough to say, hey, I'm an awesome person.
Mm-hmm. And I deserve good shit.
And then when you don't get good shit,
then you know to cut the shit off. Shit, because, you know, I learned, and my husband taught me a whole lot of shit. Because he's telling his kids, his 3 boys, that every man has a dick and every woman's got a pussy. And everybody should respect that. You don't misuse that pussy, and pray she don't misuse that dick. Well, now the thing about that blew my mind was, how do I misuse him? You know? Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to misuse the dick. But that's what he told them. And I said, you know, that's why I wouldn't stay home when he'd have all them kids in the house. He was the only daddy on the block that lived in the same house. James Jefferson, that lived straight across from us. Was in February, I think it was, when he knocked on the door and said, how you doing, Miss James? I said, oh, I'm doing fine. He said, can I come in? And he told me that a whole lot of stuff that my husband told him, he said we had to grow up to learn what he was saying.
They say teach a child
the
way they should go, and it come back to
him. He told me, he said, you know, I am so thankful because now when I get in a situation, he said, and Mr. James is gone, I know, but I said, what would he do? What would he say? He said, you know what, Miss James, if it don't sound right to me and I talk it out, I'll be in the bathroom in the mirror, he said. He said, and I talk it out and it don't sound right. Oh, Mr. James told me, forget that. He said, and I've had to forget a whole lot of stuff that first run I would have done. And I said, well, thank you. I'm glad that, you know, because the boy down the street, he was all the way in California. His grandpa died. He came home and he rang the bell, and I hadn't seen him. Well, it was quite some time. And he goes downstairs, wanted to know if Mr. James was. I said, yeah, he down there. And he talked to me how I was and blah, blah, blah. And I said, asked him how he was and blah, blah, blah. He went downstairs, come back up crying. I said, what did I have by, Miss James? I'll talk to you later. I said,
so sweet.
I said, Gerald, what's going on? Look, he got a tear in his eye. I said, oh. I was going to ask him what's going on, but I saw that tear in his eye. I said, oh.
That's love, though.
Okay.
That's love.
And he said,
that's action.
I never thought. He said, I know what I was saying to him, but, you know, you just never think that it's going to do anybody any good afterwards. And I said, oh. So I said, so he down there puffing up my husband. So.
And don't get me wrong. I like gifts.
Yeah.
You know, I like nice words. Hey, you look beautiful today. I love those things. But the acts of service, am I hungry? Do I need a word? Do I need instruction? You know, I think that the actions, they say actions speak louder than words, but it's very real to me. But definitely the loving yourself part, then you could, you know, really,
You know how to make somebody treat you. You know, allow somebody to treat you. You know,
and then love them and treat them.
That's right.
In return, you know.
At first, all of us have to learn to give ourselves some love. Because if you don't love you can't love nobody else because you don't know how.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so many people that don't know how. Because I just listened to the junk she was saying. And I said, ooh, baby, why you so hard on you? I don't want to have to take a pill every day. You know? If your health means that you take 20 a day to stay here, because ain't nobody ever come back.
Yeah.
You know, don't put that is a restraint on you. See, because evidently you ain't been around nobody older than you or whatever, but as you get of age, all of us, I don't know any older person that doesn't take. You know, it's when you start to get in a certain age, your body changes.
Shit.
Yeah.
Some sooner than others.
And that's right. Some sooner than others and some later than others. I just think about my mother. When her mind started going, she was in her 70s. But until then, Mama, and it would used to tickle the shit out of me, but she would take Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays her medication. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, which was 2 Anisons. And I thought that was, why you don't do it on the other days? She said, well, I don't know. And she never really took a lot of pills. I don't remember my grandmother ever. I don't think she ever took, I don't remember her taking any. But Mama, I take more than the both of them put together. You know. I never in my wildest life, I've been a diabetic for over 40 years. My doctor told me that it was very unusual for somebody to be a diabetic as long as I was. I said, well, I only contribute that to the fact I was given insulin, needles, shots till I had 17. Kids in the mornings before they left and went to work or before they ate breakfast. And I had them shots that I had. And back then, the needle, we had to change the needles, wash them and shit. You know, there wasn't no throwaways. No, there wasn't no throwaway nothing. We undid the plungers and all of that and soaked them in, yeah. And I heard about it, I read about it, I did it, and all of that. So when it came to my turn, I was the last to accept it. You know, it just said, no, I ain't got this, you know. Went and got some glasses, and a couple of days couldn't see out damn things. I'm saying, what's wrong with my glasses? I went and told him, I said, I can't see out my glasses. Sit down, Beverly. Well, this is... And I'm saying, yeah, but I can't, okay, he said. And so my doctor says, go to St. Joe Hospital and have your blood taken. Because I was getting it done, and sometime it said it was, and then sometime it said it wasn't, you know. So I went to St. Joe, and the babies unit is up on 2. When you get through, you can walk down this big line of stairs. As I'm coming down the stairs, there was this white man, I'd say about 3 steps in front of me. And all of a sudden, I blacked out.
Oh.
And had he not been there, I'd have probably died. Because I was about in the middle of, must be about 25 steps. Anyways, if I hadn't have died, I'd have hurt myself real bad. You know, I went up to see the babies. I just was happy. See the little babies, you know, and stuff. And messing, tapping on the window. And I asked the man, I said, one of these yours? He said, yeah, second row, them 2 right there, twins, a boy and a girl.
Oh.
And I said, oh, isn't that nice? He said, yeah, what we going to do with them? I said, y'all will figure them out.
Right now, self-care, mental care, all this self-care, and it all boils down to me really loving yourself.
You got to.
Loving yourself and taking care of yourself is loving yourself.
That's right. And then you'll make him do it. Or them.
Yeah.
You know, because like I told a girl in Bible class, she blah, 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 blah. I said, baby, look, you met me, I was a great-grandmother when I met you. So for all them years I've been doing Beverly, the only thing Beverly got to say to you, I pray it's nothing nasty, but I'm going to tell you, forgive yourself. She says, what do you mean? I said, you got to be mad at you, otherwise you couldn't be that damn mad at me.
Oh.
I said, now, you put your words. I put that MF out because he was effing them bees.
Effing them bees.
I said, and that's what you doing now. See, you flipping the card and you out there with all of them that we done put out. I said, so baby, forgive yourself. You don't know what I've been doing. I said, no. But I know mine when my kids was this high. I was still one dig, and so do you. That's the way they made us. You know, because you put him out, it didn't erase nothing.
No,
you know,
it's still working.
Yeah, so I said, I told her.
The pipes is
that's
hot
right.
and ready.
And what you doing now is all of that shit everybody done put out. That's what you got to do. And here you are, 50 damn years later. Think about it, baby. You done had all that, and you could have kept that you had.
That outside dick.
Yeah. Now, you don't like that MF that was leaving your house doing it, but you like hers and hers and hers.
Yeah, theirs all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing you would tell people about loving themselves.
It's something that you have to learn to do because, like I say, instructions don't come with us. But you live and you learn. And one thing you do have to learn, if you don't know how to do it, you got to learn to love something or watch somebody doing it. You know, if it's in your household, then you got to pick out the good pieces, you know. But for them of us that didn't see it, somewhere along the line you see them over there, or, you know, you see it somewhere. But you have got to grow up to think good about you. And it ain't always easy.
Yeah.
It's not always easy. It's something that, and you got to feel, as my husband told me, you have to feel that you're worth. You know, not better or nothing like that. You don't, feeling that you better, that won't get you nothing but trouble. But you have to feel that you're worth being treated decently, being liked for who you are. And you ain't got to jump ropes and all that shit, but just if you treat people decent, that's the way you want them to treat you. If I'm talking to you decently, don't come up to me saying MF blah blah blah. No, don't allow nobody to do that. And there's some people that treat the other one decent and still get mistreated.
Right.
I don't know how that works, why it works. And it boggles my mind to think that some people will call that love. I don't know, but if they do, that's on them. But I've been working with a lot of crazy women, as I call them. And everybody has love in their head as a different thing, But I just wanted to be, I don't know. I saw a man have one of them Great Dane dogs, some great big old things,
Mm-hmm.
and it was black and white, and he walked the dog and just hug its neck and all that, and I thought he was a really nice person till I found out he knocked that woman down them steps, and she broke her ankle on one and her knee on another, and had to go and stay in the nursing home to get rehab and all that shit. But I thought, well, he's gonna do a woman nice because he does the dog nice, But shit, no. He knew how to do the dog, but he didn't know how to do a woman, And some people, especially men, I don't know. Well, and there are some women that mistreat men.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. I don't know how it happened, but there's plenty of them. I knew one, Lord have mercy, it blew my mind when what she did to Ralph. But the one thing, he never left. Never left. And that I couldn't, and I still don't know how to figure that one out, but yeah.
For me, I think, again, like you said, being able to love yourself, find examples.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot on TV.
Yeah, we do now.
We do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Sometimes
and some you got to look at that and say,
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's exaggerated, but really focusing on what makes you feel good, not necessarily complete, not necessarily replacing something, but definitely adding to what you already feel.
Yeah.
What you are, because there's only one you.
That's all.
And the
you can't replace it.
No. And the love and happiness that you want, desire in your life, that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility to, one, give it to yourself, and to make sure that you can be surrounded with it, the peace of it, the peace of the love that comes with it, as much as you can.
And I think about it now, like I said, before my husband died, a lot of things I think of now, I wish I had a thought of, But I have said, I thank God he didn't leave me, because I was the one did less than anybody, But he used to tell the kids, "No, y'all got to help your mama because she does everything. We don't do nothing," And when he started it, I had to think about, oh my God, he's making my kids do blah, blah, blah. And then he told me, "Bev, leave him alone. They're going to be all right." I had to do it because his dad died when he was 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, a lot of things that I learned, he and I both had to learn together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he had an aunt, his dad's brother, and her wife, his wife. I think he saw a lot down there with Uncle Doc. And he used to talk about Uncle Doc all the time. And when I did see them, they were always cuddly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened other than when I saw him, but he learned enough that I thank God for him. I just pray. And I keep telling myself, had I not, he'd have left.
Mm-hmm.
But I just pray that I was as good to him as he was to me.